We're here in Tampa, Florida for a stop on the Truth Tour, a grassroots campaign being promoted by Herman Cain and his new foundation, Job Creator Solutions. So let's get personal and talk with Herman Cain, former presidential candidate and businessman, as well as economist Dr. Art Laffer and Niger Innes with the Congress of Racial Equality.
It came about from a meeting that I had with Bernie Marcus, co-founder of Home Depot. And he had started something called Job Creator Solutions Foundation, and his concern was we are missing an opportunity by encouraging business leaders to talk to their employees, to better inform them such that we'll have better informed people going to the polls to vote. And he said, Herman, I need your help. We need to figure out how we do this. I said, well, Bernie, I said, I tell you what worked when I was a candidate for president, taking the message to the people. And so we came up with the idea of the Truth Tour. 30 cities, 30 days, 3 events a day, 30-33.
You mentioned multiple organizations like Americans for Prosperity and the Tea Party, and how each of them have their own sort of issues and agendas that they're focused on, whereas your organization is hoping to sort of combine those.
Yes.
Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yes, there are a lot of good organizations out there that have their top priorities, whether you're talking about Freedom Works, Americans for Prosperity, Eagle Forum, there are a lot of them out there. Their top priorities generally are very silo focused, as I call it. No one is going after the big issues that cut across silos, like replace the tax code, like energy independence, such as totally mitigate the growth in spending so we can begin to bring it down, fight this whole debt thing, like here's what we should replace Obamacare with. So we didn't want to have an organization that was focused inwardly just because of our constituency. Business people and community leaders, they want these big problems addressed. So we plan to keep the pressure on Congress and the president, even after November, to make sure we keep the focus on these big issues.
And talking about the tax code, your 999 plan, have you spoken with both President Obama and, say, Mitt Romney about the plan, and what were their responses and reactions to it?
Let's talk about the easy one first. Okay. No, I have not talked to President Obama. They wouldn't give me an audience to talk about it. But I have talked to Governor Romney about it. And I suggested to him that it would resonate more with people if he changed the narrative and talk about replacing the tax code.
We asked renowned economist Dr. Art Laffer, who is a member of President Ronald Reagan's Economic Policy Advisory Board and is best known for the Laffer curve, to give his views on taxation.
When you look at it, all taxes are bad. Some are worse than others. So what you want to do with your tax bill is you want to make sure you tax in the least damaging fashion to the economy, and then you want to spend in the most beneficial fashion. And then you want to collect that amount of revenue for the pain of the last dollar collected is a little bit less than the benefit of the last dollar spent.
Now, obviously, I support that new kid on the block called 999. But you've got the fair tax, which is a national sales tax, and you got the flat tax on income. Either one of those would supercharge this economy. Business people, and from the Truth Tour, they have reinforced the notion that this economy needs to get going.
Niger Innes, the national spokesperson for the Congress of Racial Equality, agrees that government should be more proactive in encouraging small business growth.
Some of the fastest small businesses are being grown by Black and Latino women.
And they're being encouraged to.
And they should be encouraged to. Actually, I don't think they're being encouraged to enough by this current administration. And I think what Herman Cain is doing, what Herman Cain and Bernie Marcus and Job Creator Solutions is doing, is actually a pushback against that negative atmosphere, that you didn't build it atmosphere, saying, no, you did build it and you should be proud of it. And we want to create the atmosphere in society at large to make sure that you're not only appreciated, but that you have an environment where you can grow and prosper.
If President Obama is reelected in 4 years, this economy will be in a full depression, which is an extended recession. We already are not really in a recovery. And so it would further cause business people to not look at growing their businesses, not filling jobs. They would try to hang on for survival to see what happens after the next 4 years. We would be in a full depression.
The dream in America has always been to make the poor richer, not to make the rich poorer. And you know, to my way of thinking, the best form of welfare is still a good, high-paying job. And that's the role model that is bipartisan. Jack Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, they all got economic growth going. And that's the way to solve the problem, not the way W and Obama have done it, which is to create more unemployment, more despair, more poverty. Doesn't make sense.
Our current unfunded liabilities, in other words, if we don't change the structure of Social Security, the structure of Medicare, the structure of the way we basically spend Medicaid funds and all of these other programs, we don't change the structure, we are going to be facing an $85 trillion unfunded liability over the next 10 years. 85 trillion with a T. If you take all of the assets of every company in America and the personal assets of every family in America, we only come up with $82 trillion. We could sell the whole country to China and still be $3 trillion in the hole. That should be a wake-up call for people. We need to do several things in order to fix the problem. We need to replace the tax code, restructure these programs, and roll back all of these burdensome regulations that are causing businesses to stay on the sideline.